It's almost unthinkable. A routine flight, just seconds airborne, turns into one of the biggest aviation tragedies we've seen in years. June 12th, 2025.
Yeah.
The Air India Dreamliner crash. It wasn't just a crash, it was the first fatal one for the Boeing 787. It really sent shockwaves.
Absolutely. Huge shockwaves.
So today we're going to dive deep. We'll unpack the sources we have, try to understand what really happened with Air India Flight AI-171, look at the devastating impact, and explore the big questions this raises. Questions about aviation tech and about trust itself.
And what's really striking right off the bat is the aircraft, the 787-8 Dreamliner, VTA and B, and just how fast it all happened. Flight AI-171 headed for London Gatwick.
And the timeline. It's incredibly brief. Chillingly so. It crashed only 36 seconds after taking off.
Just 36 seconds.
Barely off the ground, maybe 625 feet altitude, and reports say it kept a nose-up attitude, sent a mayday signal, and then it hit that hostile block. BJ Medical College in Ahmedabad.
That nose-up attitude, yeah, for those crucial seconds, so close to the ground, that's a major, major flag for investigators.
A flag for what exactly? Like, what does that suggest immediately?
Well, it points towards potential control problems, maybe aerodynamic issues like a stall, possibly an uncommanded climb right after liftoff. They'll be poring over every bit of data from those seconds.
And in the middle of all that devastation, there was, amazingly, one survivor.
Just one. Out of 242 people on board 230 passengers, 12 crew. Mr. Vishwash Kumar Mesh, 40 years old. He was apparently near an emergency exit 11A.
Incredible story amidst the tragedy. But the loss wasn't confined to the plane, was it?
No, not at all. The impact on the ground was horrific, too. Over 39 people killed in the hostel and the nearby residential area, dozens more injured, maybe around 60. It pushed the total death toll well past 280. Just profound loss.
So in that immediate aftermath, the recovery, they found the black box, right? What does that actually tell them, and who's running this investigation? It sounds complex.
Very complex. Yes, they recovered the black boxes quickly. That's the flight data recorder, the FDR logging all the technical parameters, and the cockpit voice recorder, the CVR, with the audio from the cockpit. Super critical data.
And the team.
It's a big international effort. India's AAIB is leading, but they're working closely with the NTSB from the U.S., British authorities too. And of course, experts from Boeing and GE, the engine maker, are involved.
Okay. And what sorts of things are they looking at? Potential causes?
A whole range. Engine thrust, naturally, whether flaps set correctly, landing gear position, but also environmental factors like, interestingly, hot air density.
Hot air density. Why is that specifically relevant here?
Well, hot air is less dense. Simple as that. And less dense air means less lift from the wings, less efficient engine performance, especially during takeoff on a potentially warm day. It makes everything harder.
Right, okay.
They're also considering the fuel load, the possibility, however remote, of a dual engine failure, bird strikes, any electrical system malfunctions. It's a wide net initially.
And the plane's maintenance. Anything stand out there?
That's interesting, too. One engine was quite new, installed just in March 2025. The other was overhauled back in 2023. Air India's CEO stated there were no known issues before the flight.
So that might shift focus away from routine wear and tear.
Potentially, yeah.
Yeah.
It often sharpens the focus onto more immediate, perhaps complex system failures or those external factors we mentioned.
Of course, this had huge operational impacts for Air India straight away.
Oh, absolutely. They grounded several other 787s for checks, had to suspend, 38 international flights weekly. That hit about 15% of their wide-body operations through mid-July. Major disruption.
And the broader response? Government? Public?
Full lift and significant. The Indian government announced compensation, 1 crore rupees per victim. PM Modi visited the site. Condolences came in internationally from Wales, for example.
And in India.
A lot of public grief, quite visible. Bollywood figures like Vicky Kaushal, Janvi Kapoor, R. Madhavan expressed sorrow online. And importantly, India's Civil Aviation Ministry ordered extra maintenance checks on all Boeing 787s using those specific GE GEnx engines. Grounding the whole fleet was even being considered.
So looking forward now, the focus is on analyzing all that data from the recorders.
Exactly. Examining the FDR and CVR data, both in India and abroad. They're looking closely at engine performance, control settings, what the crew was doing and saying. We should expect some preliminary findings relatively soon.
And for Air India, this must be a critical moment, especially with their big modernization plans under Tata.
Absolutely critical. Rebuilding trust is number one. It's not just about the practical support, refunds, accommodation, counseling for families, which they're doing. It's about demonstrating very publicly a fundamental commitment to safety and transparency alongside all the fleet inspections. It puts their whole agenda under immense scrutiny.
June 12th, 2025. It's a date now etched in aviation history, a truly devastating day for India, and the day the Dreamliner's safety record was tragically broken. As the investigators continue their work, tirelessly trying to find the full truth, it leaves us with a heavy question, doesn't it? What does this tragedy really change about how we view our reliance on incredibly advanced aviation technology? And, maybe more fundamentally, what truly defines trust in the way we travel around the globe from now on?